Well, today's question comes from, I just got off the phone with one of my clients, and it's actually been asked about 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks. But the question is how to run an effective meeting. So there's quite a lot to this, okay? But I'm going to break it down into some simple forms. And really, again, as I always tell people in these videos, these are oversimplifications because I have a short period of time to get my message across to you. There are always going to be exceptions and more complexity to this, but this is a very good place to start. And a couple of distinctions. The first is that when it comes to a meeting, you always want to have a clear set of intentions or intended outcomes. You want to be clear very specifically and measurably what the intended outcome of the meeting is. And again, you want to be able to measure or verify it clearly without any bukaka or nonsense. You want to get clear that this is what you're going to achieve in the meeting. So, for example, going to make a clear decision on whether to move on a purchase or not. That's an example of a clear objective. You want to be clear on whether you're going to hire this person or not. You want to be clear on a set of milestones or a plan with milestones for the next year for income generation for your company. That's very clear and very measurable and very easy to verify. It's a very important first step. The second is to have a clear agenda, preferably with a timeline and with a secretary or someone assigned who can look at the time and keep people on track without being a Nazi policeman, but at the same time keeping people on track. So you want to have someone who's cool and someone people feel safe with, but at the same time can say, hey, listen, we've spent more than 5 minutes on this, which is allocated, and we need to move on. Let's table this for future discussion. So you want to have that structure in place. It's very important to do so. I have a pretty good track record for short meetings. I do my best to keep them short. My client meetings, just to honor people's time, I'll keep it to an hour. There are occasions when I go way past that with permission, but almost always I'm on time, or less than time. And that's because I really try to do my best to manage the agenda and the outline for it. Okay, so again, you want to have a clear set of intended outcomes, you want to have a clear agenda with a timeline, you have a secretary to manage, follow up, etc. Again, there's a lot to talk about this, but if someone gets upset at a meeting, or someone gets distracted and goes off on different tangents, because in a meeting you want to go to Beijing, but someone wants to take you to Paris, right? It happens from time to time. You get hijacked. Someone hijacks the meeting, takes you to somewhere you don't want to go when you're trying to go somewhere else in the meeting. So how do you handle that? Again, I'm going to oversimplify this, and I'll say, the easiest way to handle this is to have a clear intended outcomes, and just say very gently, for example, hey John, I get what you're saying, I totally want to get what you're saying, and we've got about 20 minutes to fulfill this intention. Can we table that for a future topic and come back to that later in the future? And I promise you at the end of this meeting I'll schedule a separate time to do that with you. Would that work for you? Is that fair enough? So you can always play the working, does that work for you? Or is that fair enough game card to elicit the favorable response, which is yes, because you want to stay on track. Now obviously sometimes whatever that person is saying would be in alignment with your intended outcomes or objectives for the meeting. So you want to look at that and make sure it's, that you're not dismissing it unnecessarily, okay? So having said that, you want to have to summarize very simply, and again this is an oversimplified model, have a clear set of intended outcomes, have a clear agenda, have a secretary to take care of follow-up items, and keep people on track. If you sense that what they're conversing about, or they keep going on about, it's going to take you somewhere else from where you want to go, then get them back on track in the way that I said. I hope that makes a difference for you, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Take care, have a great evening or day or morning, wherever you're at.